We have officially hit that time of the Madden season. EA is now dropping baked in or equipable free unstoppable forces on pass rushers across the board. Right now, players are going back to base rush style defenses and utilizing a year's worth of practice on the switch stick mechanic to play their best defense of the year. It's giving a lot of players a lot of trouble, myself included. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to stop that triple unstoppable force by understanding how to utilize your post-ups correctly. Now, I will be showing you proof of concept here momentarily in practice mode, but for right now, we're going to start off at the roster page with my offensive line, and I'm going to give you the tip that we are going to equip and space post-up on at least 3 offensive linemen, and those are going to be the left tackle, the center, and the right tackle. Because players are going to be oftentimes rushing 3 unstoppable forces, we are going to need to utilize the only ability in the game that will neutralize these players and prevent them from ever shedding. And we're going to have to do so in a very smart manner. So having these players spaced equally is going to allow us to have a left tackle guard post up become unsheddable, a left guard center post up become unsheddable, a center right guard post up become unsheddable, or a right guard right tackle double team post up also becomes unsheddable. So these are going to be the important things that you need to focus on. Now, of course, we all know that secure protector and all day should be equipped on all 5 of your offensive linemen. But I will tell you that if you're dealing with people that are rushing 4, 5, or even 6 unstoppable forces for free from an AP standpoint, believe it or not, that is possible right now, and it's only going to get worse. I have a cocktail that you can equip on individual pass protectors to slow down those unstoppable forces and Colossus players. Make sure you guys go check out gridirongameplay.gg and check out the May Vault. That'll be our May 5th Vault update for those of you that are watching this video down the road and want to know where exactly to go on the website. You guys can unlock the entire website for $9.95. That's everything that I've done all year long. Now we've entered practice mode, and I want to show you guys one of the things that's very underrated about the unstoppable force in this game. In order to do this, I'm going to overemphasize how little you have to rush the passer to get one to go off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have 4 of these on the field, and we are going to just set up a simple 4-man rush. And you're really going to see the value of these in terms of just how they will shed, even when we just kind of spy a couple players. As you guys know, in this game, we basically have rules that require us to rush 4 players or 3, and then we have to take our user down until green bars go over their head, and then we blitz them to kind of trick the game into thinking that we have 4 rushers, which allows those guys to shed. Well, if you get caught rushing 3 or less in this game, it's supposed to not allow any sheds at all. Well, that is until you start to work in the unstoppable force into the game. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to occupy the middle, and you're going to see that we're going to get kind of a one-on-one animation. And you see how the left of screen pass rusher with this ability, as long as he's getting blocked one-on-one, he is going to absolutely club the snot out of everybody. So take a look at this over-exaggerated breakdown here where I wouldn't necessarily advocate running this defense. I'd run a better coverage. You see this instant spin move, and then boom, he's gonna play an instant win on the center as well. So he just demolished 2 players in a row, and very clearly we are only rushing 2 here. The game is not supposed to allow pass rushers to shed unless you've rushed that aforementioned 3 plus a blitzed user or minimum of 4. So that's why everybody you face online runs a 4-man A-gap loop or a 4-man ram blitz, because that's the bare minimum that you must rush to get other players on your defensive line to shed while they're getting the crossfire or the ram blitz pressure. So that puts that all into perspective. But when you put it in this perspective where we're talking about just letting these guys go win because they have an ability that's extremely overpowered, I think that we're going to start to see more people dropping guys in coverage and rushing 3. I don't think you're going to see a lot of rush 2 because, again, it's too easy to double team these guys, but rushing 3 is going to be very, very effective here. So let's go ahead and take this into kind of a cover 4 with 2 hook curls instead of just 1 hook curl type of breakdown. I'm going to be here in the 3-3 odd. We'll just run some cover 4 drop here, and I'm just going to let these guys rush. Now, the key thing with this is that if you end up with one-on-ones, those guys are going to win. So you're going to see here that we have basically Carter on the outside, who's going to get these win animations. Meanwhile, we have these other two guys that are being blocked on double teams. Now, the thing about this is that these double teams are so important to understand how you guys will be able to counter this, because what we ideally have to do to neutralize an unstoppable force is allocate 2 pass protectors to them. Now, as you recall, just a few minutes ago, I mentioned that we're going to put post up at the left tackle, the center, and the right offensive tackles on the formation, because in a lot of cases where we're rushing 3 players, we want to make sure that we can give them help with certain players. You see in this example, we got a center left guard post up, so that unstoppable force can't shed. We have a dedicated one-on-one block on the backside, which, as we know, is going to end up going Abdul Carter's way. But if you notice on the right side, we have the other unstoppable force on the ground as a result of the post-up ability. You see that we ended up with this double team application, and he got absolutely demolished because they cannot beat those double teams. So this is something that you're going to have to learn how to get double teams on all 3 of these guys when people rush 3. And that's going to require blocking an extra player and likely doing some slide protection or double team type mechanics to accomplish this. So let's go ahead and show you guys how we can lab this up. Now, before we get too deep into this, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and also hit that notification bell. And if you don't mind, drop a comment below. It could be something like, hey, Zan, why are we using post-ups when any double team will work an unstoppable force? Well, that's a good question, because a lot of players actually like to use Colossus, and this tip requires post-up to counter a Colossus. A simple no post-up double team actually does also neutralize an unstoppable force. So if you're ever caught with your pants down, quote unquote, and you don't have post-ups and they are running unstoppables, you can still utilize this video and be just fine. If they are running Colossus, you're going to be in trouble. So keep that in the back of your mind as well. So let's go ahead and put a simple 3-man rush on the field and see if we can try to find the opportunity for 3 double teams. We're first going to start off with a 2x2 formation with our running back in the backfield. Now, if we're rushing just 3 against this, what we ideally would like to accomplish is for a left guard, left tackle double team on the left of screen rusher, a right guard center double team on the middle rusher, and a running back right tackle double team on the right of screen rusher. Now, in order to do this, what we're going to start off with is a full slide of our offensive line away from the running back. And what you're going to see here is that this puts a fire logo on the edge. Now, if we do block the running back, that is going to make him responsible for that edge, but we cannot afford for that to be a one-on-one block. So from there, what I'm going to advocate you do is put a double team icon on him, which is going to cause targeting for the right side of the offensive line to go get him. Let's see if this shakes out okay for us. So we snap this ball, and what we actually ended up with here in this example was a decent rep, but we didn't get that double team on the middle rusher. And despite us having a secure protector, the unstoppable force was able to shed and get home to the quarterback. So let's try something else. This time, what we're going to do is we are, rather than full sliding, we are going to do a half slide. To do this, you're going to hit left bumper, flick the right analog stick away from the running back, and then we're going to slap a double team on the nose tackle. The reason for this is that because we are sliding our protection to the left, you see that our left guard is targeting that off-ball linebacker. He's not blitzing. So with him basically being told to block him, once he realizes his guy's not blitzing, he's going to help towards the slide protection, which, as I mentioned, is already going to the left. Now, the running back, he's responsible for the other off-ball linebacker. In this case, probably not blitzing either. So in this case, he's hopefully going to go assist on the edge. If that doesn't happen, we know that the likely shed player is the right of screen player. So we snap this ball, and you see that we get the double teams, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, the right of screen edge rusher was able to still get a single team. So maybe the double team is not something we actually need in this particular breakdown. Again, this might differ from offensive formation to defensive formation, so make sure that you guys are labbing through this and try to figure it out. Maybe we're going overly complicated. So in this situation, I'm just going to half slide away from the running back, and let's just see what happens. And lo and behold, we get 3 double teams, each with their own post up. And the only situation that allows for a shed is if our quarterback actually ends up being inside of the disengage angle. What this means is that as you move around the pocket, if the player can actually peel back or step away from the block, that'll allow them to disengage. So in this particular case, he does kind of push this. And then once you end up with a free disengage angle, which is behind the block, which is basically the case right here, he's able to just step away from the block. This is not a shed. This is just a disengage angle. Actually, the situation here that I would recommend would call for us sliding back, meaning in this direction. So that way we can basically reset our feet and understand that we've got good leverage with both of our double team blocks here. But this accomplished the exact thing that we were looking for in this particular breakdown. So let's go ahead and try that again. This time I'm going to put the running back on the other side. I'm going to block him and I'm going to half slide to the right. Let's see if this ends up giving us the same type of double teams. And lo and behold, we are safe again. So again, what's the key here? You don't want that disengage angle. See right here? I don't want 54. You see, in that situation, we ended up with all day long. But what players are banking on when you are running up against a triple unstoppable force or a Colossus with 2 unstoppable forces on the edge is they're banking on you not understanding how to block all these guys. This situation absolutely positively calls for this particular setup where you have your post ups spread out, tackle, center, tackle, and then you enlist the running back for this to happen. But that's with a running back in the backfield. Let's see if we can actually accomplish some other things here with this. So the next thing that I want to do is work with a tight end. How does a tight end impact this situation? So I'm going to go to my tried and true bunch tight end. It's my favorite formation in the game. And here in this example, this one's going to be pretty straightforward. We got the tight end. Let's just go and half slide away from the tight end. See if this works. And boom, there you go. It's the exact same breakdown. I mean, look at that. Look at that. All day long in the pocket. Now, I know what some of you are saying. Zan, you have to block 6 to block 3. Isn't that BS? It doesn't matter what I think, because that's the way the game plays, and that is what I'm here to teach you guys, is how the game works. And if you guys are enjoying this content, you guys are sure to love my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. Open in 2020, Gridiron Game Plans is the best place to get better at Madden and also college football. For just $9.95 a month, you guys unlock the entire website. And that includes weekly updated vault content. Yes, even into May, I'm still working my tail off to make sure that you guys have all the intel to deal with the ever-changing metas, whether that's new schemes, new setups, new routes, or AP changes that EA sets upon us that change the landscape of Ultimate Team. I've got it from all angles for you guys. Make sure you guys go check it out. The vault is updated every week. All offensive and defensive game plans included at no additional charge. So if you guys want the bunch tight end offense, the 1-4 game plan, the 3-3 odd game plan on defense, the match game plan for all my coverage setups, you guys can mix and match everything to get your own scheme and get on winning more games, spending less on packs, getting more rewards, and having more fun with this game. So make sure you guys go check it out. It's the best deal in the tip space. So this is all fine and dandy. Obviously, we're out here rushing 3 unstoppable forces, or a Colossus and 2 unstoppable forces, and things are good. But what happens when your opponent starts to rush 4? We don't necessarily have the ability to go with 4 double teams unless you begin to enlist an extra post up, because in this particular model, I've only got 3 post ups. But again, reminder, unstoppable forces don't necessarily care about post up abilities. To kind of remind you of that, I'm going to take my players off the field that have the post up ability, and I'm going to put in backup players that don't even play. So this Quentin Nelson is not active. It has no AP on it. So he's going to be working with a guard that has no post up. He has no post up. Then at center, I'm going to put in Coleman Shelton. Again, he has no post up. And my right tackle, I'm going to put in Darnell Wright. Again, 0 post ups now on my line. Now let's go back to that first setup with the 3-man rush. And then we'll kind of talk about 4-man rush here in a moment. When we talk about how we're going to work with this, again, unstoppable forces are neutralized by any double team possible. So again, you see no stars underneath my center and my 2 tackles. I'm just going to block the running back. I'm going to half slide away. And let's just watch the double teams happen. Now, unfortunately, in this particular example, this is where we have to lab each formation individually. You saw that we had that same situation where that one-on-one on the right side occurred, and there wasn't time for a double team application. he actually got the unstoppable win. But again, look at the other two double teams and how neither of them was split. The only time a split will occur on this double team or this double team, both lacking a post up, is if your opponent is actually rushing a Colossus. So the really important player that I think you must have a post up for is your center. Now, again, I don't really foresee people running 3 Colossus now that unstoppable force is free. So if you're going to face one, it's going to be up the middle where the double teams are most commonly going to occur on a D tackle. I mean, that's kind of how football works, is the big guys in the middle eat up blocks, the linebackers can work in space, and the edge rushers get one-on-ones. So definitely work it on the post up, but you see right here, you don't need post up across the board to stop an unstoppable force. It's really just a worst case scenario, and post up's basically free on every offensive lineman anyway, so why not protect yourself for an insane situation that might occur? Now let's go ahead and round this out with our 4-man rush scenario, just to kind of help you guys understand how we're going to operate with this. For this, I am going to work a 2-4 alignment, which has 4 across, 2 off ball. And again, all 4 of these guys have unstoppable force. So our goal here with this type of formation, if we are truly trying to say you never will shed with these unstoppable forces, is we need to manufacture 4 double teams. Now, obviously, you know how many blockers that requires. Okay. So that's going to be really, really hard. So what I'm going to say here is, rather than doing that, let's go ahead and try to get 3 double teams and understand where the win is going to come from, so we can relocate within the pocket and just make smarter choices. We don't need to block 8 to block 4 unstoppable forces. Okay. That's dumb. You're going to end up with basically 3 guys on routes against 7 in coverage. You're screwed either way. So you don't want that. But let's kind of operate here with a little bit of a brain in our head and see if we can make this happen. So ideally here, what we want to do is set up kind of our escape avenues. We know we're going to get shed by somebody, but we can hopefully get, if we want to block 5, we're going to have 1 double team. If we want to block 6, we're going to get 2 double teams and 2 one-on-ones. So we have to really make sure that we're trusting our protection. Let's start off with this example where we have kind of this, what we call a 13. This is a 1 technique, and then this is a 3 technique. This guy is very likely to get double teamed. And if we try to not double team him, he's going to be an issue because he's got great leverage on a single team block from the center off the left side, or the guard off of his right shoulder. So let's go ahead and double team Graham. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first enlist our running back here. So with this kind of being in the back of our mind, we know that this double team is going to require the center and the left guard, which means that the left edge is one-on-one. He's going to win. Okay. Especially in this situation where we don't have a secure protector, that's going to happen very quickly. Now, on this, what we can also do is maybe say, all right, well, if they're going to win off that left side, screw the double team on the left side because we're not getting any safe haven on this side. Maybe we instead slide our line towards the left side, but we double team the right side to see if that gives us a location to step up into. So we snap this ball here, and you're going to see that we actually get a cut block here. And this allows us to work our way to the outside, and we pick up a decent chunk of yardage. This is a very underrated thing that you can start doing when you talk about these types of rushing metas. A lot of times players will start to do contains. And if they do decide to contain with an unstoppable force, that actually makes your life very, very easy. In this case, all you really have to do is just say, all right, well, if they're going to contain, those guys aren't going to shed. I can kind of trust in this situation my running back being able to, assist up the middle. Maybe we slap a double team and do something like this. Maybe we give ourselves an opportunity to kind of step up in the pocket. This looks a lot better again, because those contains are really just kind of there to shed in the event that you have bad pocket presence, but they're not really impacting the quarterback too much, if you understand what I'm saying. So the 4-man rush is a little bit different. When I get into a 4-man rush, I'm honestly just going to say, all right, well, I'm just going to slide my protection, or maybe we do a full slide, and I'm looking for this cut block. Like, I want this cut block. We get that against a regular rush. Now all of a sudden we're out on the perimeter. We're making a throw. We're doing whatever we need to, playmakering, scrambling with our quarterback, especially if they have truz or something like that. But this video is almost half an hour long now that I've been recording. So I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This is going to help you a lot with the meta in MUT moving forward. I hope you guys guys do enjoy it. If you guys really still hate the sheds from these cards, because again, the one-on-ones are very, very good, I've got a great cocktail on Gridiron Game Plans, as I mentioned earlier. Go check it out on the website, link in the description. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab in. Good luck.